Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and this is a bit of a different video, but I'm setting myself a little bit of a challenge. This week I'm going to be buddy reading two books which are Jane Eyre books, and I realised that on my shelves I had two other books, in fact three other books, because one is just about to come in the post, and they're all about Jane Eyre, or based on Jane Eyre, or retellings of Jane Eyre, and I thought, why not do a whole week dedicated to Jane Eyre? So this week is my Jane Eyre week, and I wanted to show you the books that I'm going to be reading. Obviously the first book is the book itself, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I've never read this before. This is my beautiful Knickerbocker Classics flexi-bound edition, which I can't wait to get stuck in, and I'm going to be reading this with the lovely Janet from Swirly Girly Reads. Once we finished that, we decided we were going to read Jane Steele by Lindsay Fay. This is a Jane Eyre, as if Jane Eyre was a serial killer, I believe. So I'm really excited to read this retelling with her. Then after that, I'm going to be moving on to three other Jane Eyre type books. The first is Reader, I Married Him, Stories Inspired by Jane Eyre, edited by Tracy Chevalier. This is a collection of short stories that have been written by various authors and are based on sort of Jane Eyre or about Jane Eyre. There's various different people who've written for this. Emma Donoghue, Helen Dunmore, Sarah Hall, Susan Hill, Elif Shafak, Lionel Shriver. I mean, loads, and I can't wait to get stuck in and try these stories out after I've read Jane Eyre and see if I can sort of see where the inspirations have come from. Next, I've got one that is called The Eyre Affair by Jasper Fforde. I wanted to read some Jasper Fforde. I'm really intrigued in this sort of Eyre affair, and I've heard that it's really good if you do know the story of Jane Eyre. You don't have to have known the story of Jane Eyre, but it can really help you pick up on some of the more the nuances in here. This is set in 1985, and it's a detective story. It says there is another 1985 somewhere in the could have been, where Thursday next is a literary detective without equal fear or boyfriend. Thursday is on the trail of the villainous Archer and Hades, who has been kidnapping characters from works of fiction and holding them to ransom. Jane Eyre herself has been plucked from the novel of the same name, and Thursday must find a way into the book to repair the damage. She also has to find time to halt the Crimean conflict, persuade the man she loves to marry her, rescue her aunt from inside a Wordsworth poem, and figure out who really wrote Shakespeare's plays. Aided and abetted by a cast of characters that include her time-travelling father, Jack Schitt of the all-powerful Goliath Corporation, a pet dodo named Pickwick, and Edward Rochester himself, Thursday embarks on an adventure that will take your breath away. I just think this sounds really different and very funny. The final book that I'm going to be reading is called Jane. Jane is by Patricia Park, and it's a story of a half Korean, half American orphan, I believe, who takes up the role as a sort of au pair to two English professors who have an adopted Chinese daughter. I think that's it. It's a contemporary story. I don't think it's romance, but it's a contemporary story. It was written recently, and I'm really excited to get stuck into that too. So I have a lot of Jane Eyre-esque books to be getting through this week, and I'm really excited to just jump into Jane Eyre and really just immerse myself in this story. Fingers crossed I actually like Jane Eyre, or this could be a bit of a bust, but I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll be wrapping up at the end of the week to let you know how I've got on with my week of Jane Eyre. Anyway, that's it for me today. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.